Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great today. Okay, in less than 48 hours from now, the US elections will take place. It is arguably the most important election in human history. This is not an exaggeration. It is. You know, this election reminds me of 2016. I was fully, immersively involved in the 2016 elections when I campaigned for Trump. And I'm going to tell you something that I learned from 2016. For those of you who are believers, who understand that the stakes are way too high at this time, for those of you who understand what is at stake and what could happen if the wrong decision is made or if the wrong person clinches power in the United States of America. Before I tell you the lessons I learned from 2016, which I believe should be instructive to us today in 2024, let me make this clear, all right? I'm not neutral. I'm not standing on the fence. Many people who follow me know where I stand. I support President Donald J. Trump. I have many reasons why I support him. It doesn't mean that I hate Kamala Harris, and people who support her also have reasons why they support her. And if they try to make the case why they support her, you will see they also have their own points why they support her. And it's up to them. People make choices, people make decisions based on the values or their priorities, yeah? And I don't have a problem with that. We can't have a monotonous world where everything is in one direction. Okay, so it's in your right to support Kamala. And as a matter of fact, this is a fun fact actually. If I told you that if Kamala became president, that I will have an easy direct access to her, you will probably be like, no, Joe, you're going gaga right now. But that is true. I don't hate Kamala. I'm telling you the truth. People very close to me are campaigning for Kamala. But there's a reason why I'm going for Trump. You know, the truth we've been trying to pass across the whole time is not that Kamala in herself, she may have done a few things wrong. Nobody's done everything right in this world. We're not perfect. But it's not necessarily about her as a person. It's about the forces behind her. When you see someone who is being propped and pushed by very dark and anti-human forces, I know your focus is going to be on that individual. People rarely do think about the forces behind the puppet masters. They focus so much on the puppet, but you should learn to focus on the puppet masters. If most of the people who are campaigning for Kamala understand who are behind Kamala, which is the puppet masters, they will probably change their mind in split seconds. And this is where some of us have a problem. It's not really about the individual. Look at Donald Trump. He's not a perfect guy. He's not the best talker in the world. Sometimes when he opens his mouth, it's like, oh my gosh, can he just tone it down? You get what I'm saying? And people have a problem with that. But look at the values that this guy espouses. Look at the values that these guys believe in. And we're not talking Trump as in we want to sell the world a new idea that no one has tested. The guy was president for an entire 4 years. We saw what happened during his presidency. Everything we are saying to you today about him are things he had already done. There was no war. The economy was great. Christianity was protected. In fact, religious freedom was like at the center of his administration. In one of my posts on X, I detailed how this man spent both money, spent resources, invested a lot of time and energy and resources into making sure that people all over the world enjoyed religious freedom and liberty. And the war was averted all over the world. For 4 years, for the first time in God knows how long, an American president finished a 4-year term and there was no global war anywhere. In less than 2 years in office, Joe Biden already had like 2 or 3 wars, and by the time he's leaving office, almost every part of the world is about to go up in flames. And of course, when that happens, you know it's going to be world war. And that's not even the point. The point is even the level of Satanism, the level of anti-humanistic agenda that is being prepped and, made to go with these guys. They are preparing so many policies that will abolish nature, destroy organic living, introduce all kinds of weird ideologies into our system, and even impose them on those who, of course, from the onset, have values that are incompatible with these values that they are pushing, like what they are pushing on Africans, the LGBTQ thing that they're pushing on us. Kamala flew to Africa for the first time in her life, and on that trip, every single country she visited, she was campaigning for gay rights. And Africa that we call the cradle of civilization. Africa where we are very close to our God. We worship God in Africa. We enjoy nature in Africa. But today they are trying to wipe away organic seeds from Africa. With people like Bill Gates conversing for GMOs everywhere so that people can begin to, have lowered immune system or even evaporated immune system, and then any little sickness that comes or pandemic that shows up, people will just die, and you will see dead bodies on the streets like he and his wife predicted during the COVID-19 season. These are some of the things that we are scared of. That's why Bobby Kennedy Jr. is supporting Donald Trump. The fluoride they put in our water, the GMOs they are introducing, the fake pandemics and all kinds of nonsense. These things, Kamala will not have control over them. What we are faced with is a clear battle between light and darkness. Take away partisanship from your radar. Take it away from your brain, from your mind. Let's focus on reality here. Look at all the things that you can see today around our world. Are you satisfied with the way things are going with the United States of America? Are you satisfied with how many hundreds of billions being sent to Ukraine far away to fight Russia? The country with the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. Have you ever read or thought about nuclear war? These are the dangers that we are faced with if Kamala becomes president. So it's not about her as a person. Take that sentiment away. It's about the forces behind her. And because we know Trump has done this before, we know he will do it again. Now, let me tell you the lessons I learned from 2016, if you're a believer, okay? In 2016, why I believe strongly in my heart that Trump won was because believers took their position. They took their place as believers. They stood in the gap properly. I will use myself as an example. I remember how many times Trump was on the screen, and people like us will get on the screen, put our hands on the screen and begin to speak in tongues. Did you hear how that witches just recently posted that they're trying to cast spell on Trump and the spell is not getting through? That there seems to be something surrounding him. If you are a child of God, you have to go into proper prayers. Let us pray and trust God for victory on November 5. and that victory will come for the good of humanity.